All right, today we're going to make pain au levain. Pain au levain is basically another country dough. It's going to be a pure sourdough with 3 varieties of flour, so it's going to add a little bit more complexity. And it's going to be broken down into a 70-20-10 breakdown of the flour. So 70% white flour, 20% whole wheat, and then 10% of a dark rye. All right, I'm also going to use a wheat liquid Levain, all right? And so it's going to add a little bit more complexity as well. So it's going to be an excellent bread. It's one that I'm very happy with whenever I make it. It's my go-to bread on almost every meal. It's one that I would eat the most often. So again, one of my favorites. It's going to have about a 78% hydration as well, because both the wheat and the white and the rye absorb that much more water. So overall hydration at about 78. All right, so let's get mixing. And what we're going to have to do is scale off the Levain. And I'm going to need about 357 grams. This has no commercial yeast. All right, so this is going to be a longer process, about 6-7 hours total. And with our Levain, I'm just going to scale it in with the water, which is probably easiest. There we go. All right, so here's our water and Levain. It has a wonderful, wonderful aroma. And you can see the 3 flours, the dark rye, the wheat, and the white. So we're going to mix this in a low speed, as we've done with virtually all doughs, just for an incorporation, just so that we can get the dough and the flour hydrated. So we're going to mix about 7 minutes, low speed, and then come back and do a fold on the table. All right, so we were able to mix for about 7 minutes. And this is a loose dough, and it's going to firm up the further we ferment. And it's going to continue to hydrate the flour. So it'll initially feel quite sticky. We're going to give it a fold now. Looking at about, again, 75 to 78 degrees. And I'm at 78 degrees, good. And with this, you have to be just patient, okay? This is a longer process for the bread, but it's a very simple bread to do. So, all right, as you see, this is quite loose right now. It's going to make an excellent bread, great crumb, and it's got a very, very full flavor. With the bacon on the stone, the caramelization is excellent, and so it has an overall just really, really nice flavor that I think you'll appreciate. So we're going to let this ferment about 3 to 3.5 hours. Again, it depends on the dough temperature. And as to how we're going to do this, I'm going to probably give 2 folds, is my guess. So in about an hour, I'm going to give another fold, build up a little bit more strength, a little bit better hydration, and we'll do that again after that. So. Very good. All right, we've got 3 hours, 3.5 hours actually. on this, I did 2 folds, okay, each an hour apart to a total of between the 3.5 hours. This dough has more water, and it takes a little bit while for that, especially that rye to absorb. So during that period of time, it's done. It's an excellent, excellent feeling dough though right now. So we're going to divide. I've got 3,500 grams of dough, so I'm going to do 5 pieces at 700. And this is going to have a really, really nice feel to it. Okay, so nice, nice, nice dough. All right, we're going to divide 700 grams each and pre-shape and shape. Okay, so we're going to give it, with the pre-shape, a little bit tighter rounding, because this is going to, again, continue to build strength as we go along. And when we get to this, we're going to let it relax, probably only about 10 minutes, because this is a looser feeling dough, and it's going to look excellent while proofing, and the oven spring is going to be really, really nice. So again, just a little bit tighter of the pre-shape. And then we'll shape these in about 10 minutes. All right, so again, like I said, it would only be about 10 minutes to get here. You can already tell that these are ready to shape. And just with a little flour. The shaping in this, I'm going to do just 2 boules and 2 batards. So, you know, it's just going to be our normal kind of shaping. Okay. We're trying not to put too much pressure on there and retain all of the, you know, the interior cell structure. Okay. So that's really all that it takes. And, you know, fairly nicely floured. Doesn't have to be excessive, but enough. All right. Same with this one. Try not to tear the surface of the skin when you're shaping, because this is still with that, both the whole wheat and the pumpernickel, actually dark rye, but it is a little fragile, but it's going to make this wonderful, wonderful bread. So we're going to do, okay, so the batards, again, just give it a little bit of a triangle-y shape. And then I'm just going to start to roll it up, pull in with my thumbs. Okay. There are going to be times where it's going to stick a little bit to the table, so release it. Okay, roll it back over on the same, and then I can just fold it in to square it up. It helps me get a little better of a slice and a little bit more uniformity. Okay, so again, tighten it up, and we're good. A little bit on a floured couche, okay? And we'll just do all 3 the same. All right, this will proof for approximately 2 to 2.5 hours, and we're gonna bake it about 475 degrees, again, about maybe 40 minutes for these. All right, so proof is about 2.5 hours at this time. And with the batards, you see how much they've grown since we shaped them. They're very, very nice. They're very fragile, so we have to be careful when we're transferring these, as well as how we're going to score it. And what I'm going to do is score each of these differently and have that kind of show how the expansion goes both on the bread and the volume of what it's going to be. So, all right. Give a light dusting on each of these, just for texture and look. Gives a little offsetting color and makes it just a little bit that much more attractive. Okay, so I'm going to go 1 score, 2 score, 3 scores, and actually you'll see on certain breads as to why the flour and the composition and the hydration, all of those things come in hand as to why they are going to expand a certain way and why you want to do it for particular kinds of breads. This one's a little bit weaker, so if I were to score it lengthwise all the way, it's going to be a little bit weaker in respect to its growth. 2 is going to be a little bit firmer, and then 3 would be even that much more. And as always, we're going to put a lot of steam in. And this will bake for about 40 minutes. All right, and it'll have a really, really nice color, aroma, everything that goes along with it. All right, thank you. All right, so we've made pain au levain, 70% white flour, 20% whole wheat, 10% coarse dark rye, and this has an extreme depth of flavor with the wheat sour, and this is about 7 to 7.5 hours start to finish. It can be a dough that you retard overnight as well. It tends to get a little bit too sour to me, but I like it as is. Makes a wonderful bread. As you can see, there's so many ways that this can be cut. It expands beautifully, has a great cell structure. And I can't tell you enough that the depth of flavor and then using it on a day-to-day basis this is probably my favorite bread for that purpose. So as we've gone through all these videos, this is now the 14th. You subscribe to the YouTube channel, kingdombread-tampa, and what that can do is link you to all the rest of the videos. It's been a building and a progression to learn kind of the stages to get to the point that you can really make excellent breads. All of this made at home, very simple ingredients, and then just good process. So I hope you enjoy this, and you can also follow us on our website, which is kingdombread-tampa.com. All right, thank you.